I'm Lewis Moon here, and Daddy Cool will come over in a second. He's just making a big feast for us for later. Hello, Daddy Cool.
Hello.
Okay, so in today's episode of in today's episode we will be reviewing Mummy on the Orient Express, the 8th episode of Series 8.
That'll be our Pinion.
Yeah.
What else we got today?
We've got a little review of what we thought of this series of Mr. Lewis Moon adventures.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
We've also going to have a little bit of a preview for next week's episode, which is...
Well, tonight's episode.
Tonight's episode, sorry, yeah.
Flatline.
Flatliners. Flatline, even? Is it Flatline or Flatliners?
Flatline.
Flatline. I get muddled up with an old Keeper Sutherland film. And we'll also maybe have a quiz or question, depending on whether we've got time.
Yeah.
Then it'll get to a certain point where we'll be panicking because we've had a few technical issues today, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
It's taken us about half an hour to try and get everything working, and I think our tea, the reason I wasn't here at the beginning is our tea is actually scheduled for our 20 minutes time. So yeah. We'll be working around that as we go.
Yes. We're going to have a little problem which we'll be trying to solve throughout the podcast, which we need your help.
But there we have it. That's what happens when you're a live, exciting podcast like ourselves.
What have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing?
Yeah.
I've been writing and watching and generally doing the things I do.
I've been planning and writing Series 5 of the Mr. Lewis Moon adventures. We started Day of Dark Magic Strikes today.
Which is quite exciting. We've done the filming for it, didn't we?
Yeah.
So,
and
which will be the Christmas special?
Yeah, the Christmas special. We'll talk a bit about our latest news on the Christmas special later on in the Mr. Lewis Moon news section.
Okay. I'm sure what people want to know is what you made of last week's episode.
I know, I was just about to go on there. So now it's Opinion. The best part of the show. The best part of the show. So what did you make? What was last week's episode called for those that may not have remembered? Mummy on the Orient Express.
Fantastic. And so a bit of an idea of what happened. Basically, it was aimed around the old legend of
the Orient Express,
and also the legend of
the Mummy.
Yeah, but in particular, I've got the name of the mummy now.
The Foretold.
The Foretold.
Those who bear the Foretold stare have 66 seconds to live.
So basically, anyone that sees the Foretold has 66 seconds to live. So the Doctor and Clara find themselves on the Orient Express. Everything's all sort of hugs and kissed and made up-ish from last week's ending of the episode. Yeah. But it's going to be Clara's last hurrah with the Doctor, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they go on this trip to the Orient Express. As we find out a little bit later, probably the Doctor always knew it might be something going on there because he'd been there before and knew there was
There's lots of trains named the Orient Express, but only one of them in space.
That's right. So
I remember all the quotes.
So basically, those people that see the stare have got 66 seconds to live.
Those who bear the Foretold stare have 66 seconds to live.
So it all kicks off when they're on there, and the people on the train start dying.
I know.
And they start seeing the stare.
The stare bear.
Really interesting episode because firstly the mummy itself looked really cool.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit about that.
Talk a bit about that a little bit later on. But I think also it was another one of these ones where you beg the question, am I a good man?
Yeah.
Because there was a point in it.
Kill the Moon.
Yeah, you never really...
3 of them have had, most of them have had the am I a good man feel to them.
They have, yeah.
The last few, definitely.
I mean, there was definitely a bit in this one, wasn't there? And what was the woman called in it?
Maisie.
There was a bit in there when the Doctor basically gets Clara to trick Maisie into coming into the main carriage area, but he knows that she's the next one that will face the stare of the Foretold and therefore have 66 seconds to live. And at that point, it just really kicks off. Clara's really, really unhappy because she thinks that the doctor's used her.
And their grandma, Mrs. Pitt, also died.
That's right. So not a particularly good day for him, maybe.
No.
Although she didn't like her grandma very much, so maybe it was a good day. But what basically happens then is that the doctor takes over her thoughts, and therefore the foretold instead combats the doctor, and he has to quickly. He's then got 66 seconds effectively to unravel the mystery.
Yeah.
So that was a quick synopsis of the story. What did you make of it?
I thought it was a great one of the best so far.
Yeah, we keep on saying that, don't we?
Yeah, this series, there's been some cracking episodes.
They're really nice,
They keep getting better and better sometimes.
Well,
Usually.
It's one of those hard. But I mean, basically, we said at the beginning, can they keep this up?
Yeah, I didn't think Mummy on the Orient Express. First of all, looking at all the titles for the series, this is my opinion. I just thought.
Opinion.
Yeah. This series, judging by the titles and some information we've got on, doesn't really sound that good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it. I thought it would sound like the worst series yet, not the best series yet. But then as we got closer and closer, and then it started, it was like the best series yet.
Yeah.
And I thought originally it wasn't going to be a good series because of the names. Mummy on the Orient Express.
It sounds like it's going to be a silly, jokey one.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be a bit of a robot of Sherwood.
Yeah. And there are a few which I thought were going to be. In the Forest of the Night is another one of those ones.
Yeah.
Flatline. I didn't think were going to be that good, but with the Dawn preview this issue,
You're
I'm
on board.
Yes, I'm on board.
But the thing is, I mean, as I just said, every episode we've been looking at it and we've been saying, can they keep this up?
And we think we can't judge it at the beginning. We just watch it and think, where would this come? What would you give this out of 10? We don't know at the start, but then it comes more clearer.
It does. But the strange thing about it is that as we've come on, the bad episode that we've been expecting, or not necessarily, we haven't necessarily been expecting a bad episode, because we've been expecting a lukewarm episode. But the nearest we've come to that has probably been Robot of Sherwood, and that was really good.
Yeah,
So,
the next one's probably In the Forest of the Night, which you think. Flatline, originally I was thinking, this is going to be a bad episode sounding by the name, but now I've heard about it, watched the trailers, clips, and next times, and read the synopsis. I know a lot about it, and it looks good.
Well, we'll come on to that a bit later. We'll look at that one, but we'll come on to it a bit later.
Yeah.
But let's ask the usual questions that we do then. First of all, what did you make of the Doctor and Clara in this one?
Well, originally I was thinking that Clara wasn't going to be in it.
Yeah, well, we talked about that, didn't we? The last episode, we were a bit confused, weren't we? Because the magazine of yours
that comes out every fortnight.
Pictures of Clara, but the listing didn't seem to mention anything.
Neither did any of the next times the clips or the official the actual main Doctor Who monthly magazine, major Doctor Who magazine.
The interesting thing I thought between it was how it started, because I was watching it and I thought, this is very confusing. Doctor and Clara together, and they seem to be getting on really well, as if there's not been any issues.
Yeah, I thought at the start, is this set before Kill the Moon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we soon found out that things weren't, they sort of should have forgiven him to a certain extent, but they basically decided that they were going their own separate ways, and this was like a final little trip.
Yeah. By the way, I've got a little section for later.
Yeah.
After this section, that I thought about reading some of the reviews in the Doctor Who magazine.
Okay.
Yeah. Later.
Good. Okay. Well, we'll have to try and remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
So what did you make of the bit when? What did you make about the way that they got on in this episode, the Doctor and Clara? Because it was definitely, to start with, it was a little bit edgy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought they'd hate each other a bit more. I thought they'd be like, looking away from each other and
Yeah.
like being really enemies. But they were friends on their last hurrah.
What did you think? I'm gonna sort of skip to the end.
Skip to the end.
Skip to the end.
Skip to the end.
Towards the end of the program, and Clara was speaking to Danny on the phone and saying, "Oh, everything's all right, everything's all right." And then she obviously lied to him because I think Danny was expecting that this was still the last time that she was going to see the doctor. But in reality, she's so addicted to the adventures that she doesn't want them to end.
No.
So she sort of basically said to Danny, "Oh yeah, it's all over, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But really, she's got no intention of it finishing.
No.
So what do you think of that? I mean, is that something that's going to come back and haunt her?
I think in one of the episodes, Danny will find out that she was lying to him because Danny said before that he doesn't like people lying to him.
That's right, he has, isn't he? And effectively, she has lied to him.
Several times.
Yeah.
Mm.
What did you make of the baddie?
The foretold, yeah. I keep calling it the mummy, but it's really the foretold. Foretold was really cool. This series, they've had some really cool villains. The Teller, the Scorebox Blitzer, the Mummy.
Yeah.
They're all really cool villains.
Very cool villains, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool indeed.
Yeah, we've had Half-Face, who's a really cool villain.
Yep.
We've had the robots from Robot Sherwood, who were really cool. We had the spiders.
Yeah.
Are there any other villains?
Not some visible ones, really, were they?
No.
A lot of them have been the Daleks, obviously.
Yeah, the Daleks.
Yeah.
We've seen them before, so they're not
Yeah.
really cool anymore. They're inside them was cool, but
yeah. What
not outside.
What did you think of the intro? First scene.
First scene, I'd already seen it.
Yeah.
I'd already seen it. Yeah.
You predicted last week on this very show, didn't you, that that's going to be the intro?
Yeah, I did. When we read the 12 hints and teasers, which we always read for the next episode, it said opening line, start the clock, which was the beginning of the clip.
Yeah.
And that was the clip we saw when Mrs. Pitt saw the mummy, or the foretold.
Yeah.
As I keep calling the mummy.
Did you, what do you think of Capaldi?
I thought he was really good. He's made the series. He's really good.
Well, there's a lot of people saying this is the best series for a long time.
I think it's the best series of all time. Which one?
It could well be.
Again.
There are also a handful though that say they don't think it's as good.
No.
So it's a weird one. It seems to be a series that is divided opinion, which I guess was always likely to be the way because of the darker edge to it. There's always going to be one, I think, where some people would love it.
I thought I wouldn't like it at the beginning, as I was saying earlier, but another reason because of this darker sort of edge to it. But I think I'm really enjoying it.
I think the other thing as well, I mean, you're obviously one of the younger audience members. Yeah. And I think it was always a bit of a gamble as to whether casting an older Doctor would turn a lot of the younger audiences off.
Yeah, everyone at school who's a Doctor Who person who likes Doctor Who says Peter Capaldi's a really good Doctor. And someone said they've properly got into Doctor Who because of this series, and they think Peter Capaldi's a really good Doctor.
I mean, it's an odd one really, because I guess if you think of take it right back to when Doctor Who first came out in William Hartnell's time.
Yeah.
And the Doctor was a really old man then, wasn't he? I know actually he was younger than, as you said before, he was actually younger than Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
But he seemed a lot older, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the kids weren't turned off by that, were they?
No.
So in many respects it's just going back to that old style that you had in the old days. But I think because the young
Peter
ones
Capaldi used to watch that.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. It's been fantastic, he has. Right, fantastic. He's been right good, that bloke. What do you Did we learn anything? I mean, well, actually, before we get on to that, let's ask me another question first of all. We talked about the foretold, but was the foretold really the villain?
No, I think Gus was the villain. But
So who was Gus?
well, Gus was the computer guy, like on the computers. But I think he's going to be Seb.
You think so?
I thought at the end of Mummy on the Orient Express there'd be another Missy scene when we saw who it was, like Seb controlling it or something. But I think it's going to be someone in the Nethersphere.
That's really what I was going to ask you as the next question, which was, did we learn anything about the missing ark?
Well, maybe because of the Gus thing, but I think tonight Missy's meant to be in it.
Right. Okay.
And I think we might find out who Gus really was tonight.
Yeah.
I think that might link in with tonight's episode.
Yeah, you might be
Maybe.
right there. You might be right. Is there anything else we want to ask about this particular episode? I'm trying to think of the standard questions that we've normally asked, and we've gone through most of them.
The characters.
Actually, I'll tell you what I would like to ask you,
What?
and it is linked to that.
Yeah.
The supporting characters.
Yeah.
What did you make of those? Frank Skinner, for instance.
Oh yeah, Frank Skinner. I forgot about him. Frank Skinner is Perkins.
Yeah.
Now, Frank Skinner was a Doctor Who fan and one of the biggest Doctor Who fans out there. And there's lots of celebrity Who fans that have made it onto the show.
Yeah.
Like Stephen Moffat, for instance.
Yeah,
is one of
that's right.
them. In the interview with Frank Skinner, it had 12 hardcore Whovians who made it onto the show. Like Russell T Davies, David Tennant, lots of other people. Bill Bailey. Lots of people.
I'd imagine Simon Pegg is, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit of a sci-fi
I think
kid.
he is.
Yeah.
But it didn't mention him because there was only 12.
Yeah.
It mentioned, but
he was good, wasn't he? Actually.
Yeah, he was good.
He played. It seems he's actually, he's not an actor at all. He's a comedian. I thought he actually acted that role really well. And a lot of people were saying we want him as a new companion.
Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Would he be a good companion?
I don't know. Series 9. Who do you think would be a good companion?
Maybe it will take it back to like a guide. We've always had sort of gushy girl, really, haven't we?
Yeah. But because of Peter Capaldi's dark, no cuddling policy in the TARDIS, or in Snogbox, as Clara calls it.
What do you Oh, well, no, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I know what I was going to say. How did he know so much about TARDISes?
Who?
Perkins.
He's an engineer.
Yeah, but it's TARDIS, isn't it? It's not just anything.
Yeah, I know. But
it made me wonder whether there wasn't more to him. Yeah. I wondered whether, initially, I thought perhaps he is a Time Lord as well.
Yeah. I thought he was a bad guy, maybe.
I did think that as well. There was a bit when they were in the carriage and somebody knows more about this than they're letting on, or something like that. And I immediately thought that maybe that was Perkins thing.
Yeah.
What about the other main guest on there?
Maisie, maybe?
Maisie,
yeah, Maisie. Yeah, she was good. She was a good actress. What did you think of her?
Yeah, I thought it was a nice little part, that one, wasn't it? I was hoping that she wasn't going to die.
Yeah, I was.
I also liked the sort of boss who did perish. I thought he was really good as well.
Foxes.
Yeah, there's a little glimpse of Foxes.
Who was singing a cover for "Don't Stop Me Now."
Yeah. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it was still quite.
You can listen to the full version, but I like her. Her best song is probably "Clarity." I like that.
Yeah.
But
being an old girl, I don't really know anything about her.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's not go into that. You can listen to the Foxes podcast if there is one.
There probably is. If not, maybe we'll start one next week. What?
Don't stop me now, having a good time now.
What? Anything else to comment on this segment before I go and start?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Give it a solid 9.
Yeah, I give it a 8.9. Probably as I've thought about it, 8.97 now.
8.97. Wow.
It was 8.95 a minute ago, but now it's 8.97.
I mean, so sort of taking from the top then. So best episode, you still think Deep Breath?
Breath,
Okay,
10.
I still think Listen probably best one.
Listen second for me with 9.4.
The next, I actually think that possibly, and it'd be interesting to see if when I watch it again when I still agree, but I actually think possibly the Mummy one comes in third, knocking the Caretaker.
I think the Caretaker comes at third still with 9.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mummy comes close fourth with 8.97.
Yeah.
Fifth place, I'd say, is Kill the Moon with 8.9. Got really close together.
Well, there's just been so many good episodes.
Sixth, Time Heist with 8.8.
Yeah.
7, Into the Dalek with 8.5. And 8, Robot of Sherwood with 8.4.
Yeah. Which, still was a really good episode. And that's the pleasing thing about it. Are you able to carry the next section on your own? So I can do a bit of gimmick with you. If I set up the news.
Oh, well, we were going to do a little section about what's in the Doctor Who magazine.
Okay, well, you do that bit then whilst I'm preparing some more of our tea. I shall see you shortly, listeners.
So, if you have the Doctor Who magazine, the latest monthly magazine, you can, the front cover says series finale, Heaven or Hell. Is there life after death? The Doctor makes a shocking discovery. And there's interviews with Samuel Anderson, Paul McGann, Peter Harness, and Derek Sherwin. So, a bit of news. The guest cast is revealed for Christmas, which we said about, which are Nick Frost, Michael Troughton, and Nathan McMillan. It says a bit about the 6th Doctor gets a new companion, extras for the Series 8 DVD Blu-ray box set, and lots of other things. In here, there also, which is the main part, there's also some reviews on episodes 3 to 6. So, coming back, welcome back. Here are your thoughts on the 12th Doctor and Clara's latest adventures. Now it's Robot of Sherwood. We'll read 2 reviews for each episode. Robot of Sherwood was a superb episode. Clara as commanding as Sarah Jane and Peter Capaldi's Doctor reminded me of John Pertwee's. There are a joyous interaction between those 2 legends, Robin of Sherwood and the last of the Time Lords. Wonderful, says David Harris. What a fantastic episode, Mark Gatiss. Writing was top-notch, with some very funny and expertly performed scenes between Robin and the Doctor. Although I have enjoyed the last 3 series, I felt that something was missing. A combination of adventure, mystery, and the ability to tell a standalone story. The latest series has quelled those fears. It's shaping up to be the best. Then, from Sherwood to the end of the universe, here's some Listen stuff. My heart is pounding. My head is spinning. And I can barely breathe. I've just finished watching Listen. This episode eclipses anything I've ever seen on Doctor Who or just about anywhere else. I've been watching the series since I was 11 now, and now at 48 I am staggered by what Stephen Moffat has done with the programme. He has shown us Why the Doctor is the Doctor. I'm worried though. If Stephen writes something better than Listen, I may need I can't say that. Hospitalization to recover from it. Poetic and beautiful. Whether you take the comments to a young Rupert Pink as a message to younger Doctor Who fans about being scared of the show, or whether you embrace the wider theme that we are all united by common fears and dreams. This is the most important and interesting episode of Doctor Who written in a long time. Moving swiftly on, what did you make of the time-bending 5th episode, Time Heist? I have just watched Time Heist and I am absolutely buzzing. This was a brilliant Doctor Who with suspense, surprise, and big scary alien monsters. This is easily the best in the series so far. The show had great special effects, intriguing twists and turns, and a cohesive cast. It's taken a little while, but for me now, Peter Capaldi is the Doctor. What are you thinking of these reviews so far?
So I'll come back over to the microphone a second. Sorry, I was just making dinner. Yeah, they sound good, don't they? Very positive.
Yeah.
I didn't catch whose reviews they were. Who was actually giving the review?
Just people who have phoned in.
Oh, right, okay.
Text in. The next one says, how did they get away with that collapsed head special effect? I found it pretty gross, and I watch all sorts of stuff.
It was quite good,
yeah,
actually, wasn't it?
It's in the picture.
Yeah. It
My other thought was, why didn't the gang think about charging the teller and jabbing him with a shredder, and when that's what they thought it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And finally, back down to earth now for The Caretaker. The Caretaker was thrilling, fun, emotional, and scary. Writers Gareth Roberts and Stephen Moffat captured almost every emotion in one single episode. It was brilliantly done. I really enjoyed The Caretaker, another Gareth Roberts special to add to the list of Doctor Who hits. Peter Capaldi is so different from any Doctor we've seen before. The humour is great. Grumpiness is great. He is great. Long live the 12th Doctor.
Long live the 12th Doctor.
So, out of those reviews, I think Time Heist, the second one, wasn't very positive. I think Time Heist was the least positive out of all of them. Maybe. But what do you think was the most positive?
Probably Listen.
Yeah, probably. I think Listen was the most positive. I think all of them were quite positive, but not as positive as each other, like different ratings of positivity.
Yes, I think that's probably right. I'm only here for a few minutes because I've got to go back to the dinner area in a minute.
So what's next?
Should we talk a little bit briefly about tonight's episode?
Yeah, Flatline. In a minute I'll do the news, should I?
Yeah, you can do that once I'm sorting things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Flatline. What do you think tonight's episode's going to be like?
Well, like you, it's not necessarily one where I was initially thinking that's going to be great. But having seen the episode that the writer provided us with last week, What's his name again?
Jamie Matheson.
Okay, who I think is, if I'm right, was a writer for Being Human, which is also a great series. Having seen it's him again, I was so impressed by his last episode that I'm really looking forward for it. The trailer I thought was quite creepy, particularly the bit that we saw midweek where it looked like some legs just being at the top of one of the characters. I just remember thinking, that's a bit creepy. But the whole idea seems to be that things seem to get sucked into this one dimension.
Yeah.
Is that right?
The doorknobs are flattened.
Yeah. And people are being sucked into the walls.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's going to be one where, yet again, it's not an obvious villain.
Like Listen, I think. And we always watch the spooky ones together.
We do, because we're watching them together.
And a
aren't we?
bit of a mystery one. We watched Listened, we watched Kill the Moon, and now we're watching Flatline. We've watched 3 so far here.
We're looking forward to it tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
I think it's going to be quite a creepy one, I think. Creepy one.
I think Missy's meant to be in it, so I think Fenton will go to. Who I think it's going to be that black boy who I think is Fenton.
Could be,
Yeah.
couldn't it? Looked like what we have seen is that basically Clara becomes the Doctor, isn't she?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
Clara's trapped, but the Doctor's trapped in the TARDIS and he's really tiny as head.
Yeah, I mean that's funny in itself, isn't it? The effect of that is really, really good. So, do we think then that it's going to be an episode that the Doctor's not going to be in that much,
Maybe.
or not sort of out and about much? You might be there with just a small head in a box, perhaps. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, I think. Be interesting to see how the Missy stuff links in with it. I mean, last time when we think about the
If she's in it.
Yeah.
Madame Cavari.
If we think about that one, it was probably sort of towards the end of the series where you start getting a little bit more of her in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Am I right on that or not? I guess it was towards the end of. There was
Part
a point,
one.
wasn't there, in the last series
Part one.
when suddenly you found out that Amy had actually been just like a ganger version of Amy.
Yeah, that was in Series 6.
But how far through was it when that happened?
That was the Ganger episode. That was the end.
It was the end of that
That's the
episode.
Ganger
And the
episode.
Ganger story was only the second story, wasn't it?
No, it was the 5th and 6th episode.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So you found out at the end of the 6th episode
Right. Okay.
of the 6th series.
So yeah, maybe we'll find out a little bit more. Maybe we'll start piecing the Missy stuff together.
Yeah, that'd be good. I want to know what. I don't want anything too big to turn up about Missy because I like her as a person who's a mystery.
Yeah, I think anyway. I don't think the arc this time will be an arc to the extent that it was perhaps in the previous series, because I think Stephen Moffat has already said it's far more standalone.
Yeah, there's lots of episodes which are standalones.
I'm going to hand you the news console so that you can move on to the news section whilst I start doing a bit more of cooking. Of course, we will be providing a cookery podcast after this podcast where we will talk about what we're eating. Right, I'll leave you in command of the news.
Okay, so hello. So first, Flatline 12 hints and teasers. With just 12 hours to go into the premiere of Flatline tonight, here are Doctor Who TV's 12 cryptic hints and teasers. Opening line: Police, please, hello? Yes, I know who did it. So that sounds interesting. We don't usually know what these mean, so they're going to be a bit odd. Clara is really working for MI5. The TARDIS couldn't boil an egg at the moment. The 10th Fibonacci number and 22. I am the one chance you've got of staying alive. That's who I am. If 2D is the first stage, then the second is. Try the Addams family for help in deadly situations. The Doctor's latest invention is the 2DIS. I don't know if you'll ever hear this, Clara. I don't even know if you're still alive. So I wonder what these mean.
Quite intriguing.
Yeah.
Quite intriguing indeed.
Yeah, we don't know what these mean. And they're very weird. We always read the synopsis for the episodes. So today there's the Dark Water synopsis. In the mysterious world of the Nethersphere, plans have been drawn up. Missy is about to come face to face with the Doctor, and an impossible choice is looming. death is not an end. Promises, the sinister organisation known only as 3W, but as the Doctor and Clara discover, you might wish it was. What does this mean? Who are 3W? I think 3W are going to be like all the people that Missy has got that have died. Everyone in heaven. I think she's gonna kill. We always have the bits our sections we have in the episodes when we're looking at we always do the 12 hints and teasers, we always do synopsis, and we always do the verdict on the episodes. Now this will be the last synopsis because I'm not going to look at the synopsises next week because it might spoil what happens at the end of part 1. So I don't want to know who Missy is. I don't want to know who 3W are, and I don't want to know how the Cybermen or Kate Stewart and Osgood appear. So I don't want to know any of that. It's time to reveal how you voted the poll last week for Kill the Moon. So most people said it was a 9 out of 10, and least amount of people said it was a 2 out of 10. So yeah. Another rather mixed episode, it would seem, with voting spread out, leaving it with a final average score of 7.795. It's therefore ranking just above The Caretaker and marginally behind Time Heist. So 7th and in last place is Robot Sherwood. 6th is The Caretaker. 5th is Kill the Moon. 4th is Time Heist. 3rd is Into the Dalek. 2nd is Deep Breath. And 1st is Listen. I don't agree with most of that. I don't think I agree with any of that, actually. And yeah, it's a bit. So the arguments last week between the Doctor and Clara, we had a few polls, which were, what side were you on? Most people said they were on the Doctor's side, surprisingly. That's weird. So, lots of people were on the Doctor's side, not Clara's. I'd be on Clara's side. Would you, Daddy Cole?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And most people would have said, let the creature live, lights on. And it's very close between lights on and lights off. But, yeah. Please stand by for advertisements. No, because they're boring. So, should we look a bit about the Series 8 ratings?
Yep, keep that going.
Okay, so Mummy on the Orient Express was watched by 5.8 million viewers. Well, 5.08 million viewers. A 22.1% viewing share in the UK on BBC One, according to early overnight viewing figures. The overnight figures are early estimates, and we can expect a sizable increase when the final Barb figures are released next week. Deep Breath is 6.8 million overnight, 9.17 million final, and 10.76 million L+7. The Into the Dalek rating was 7.29 million. Robot of Sherwood 7.28 million. Listen 7.01 million. Time Heist 6.99 million. Caretaker 6.82 million. Kill the Moon 6.91 million. And the overnight one was 808. 508, so we don't know what the final viewing figures are. So, yeah, I think they're the most so far, the Mummy on the Orient Express owl figures. They're a bit rubbish, the owl figures. They don't work out very well, as most people sort of agree. They don't really. How long will you be then?
I'm nearly there.
Okay. One more piece of news. The complete 8th series will be out on 17th November. The features are The Ultimate Time Lord, The Ultimate Companion, 2 45-minute features with Peter Davidson, Doctor Who Earth Conquest, the documentary about the 2014 World Tour, Doctor Who interviews, Doctor Who audio commentaries, Doctor Who Extra, and Doctor Who Cinema Panel.
Okay.
Deep Breath Cinema Panel.
Sounds good. What I would just say is well done. I thought you did a fantastic job there, woman.
Thank you.
I'm not quite sure what to do on the dinner front because it's ready, waiting for us.
Okay, what should we do then?
Should we very quickly talk about the other bits that we've got on there?
Oh, how long have we?
It depends how much longer we got left for the podcast.
Well, I was planning for it to be 10 or 20 more minutes.
20 more minutes. We can do it two ways. We can either eat whilst we're talking, or we can come back live again in a minute and do the second part of it.
Oh no, we'll just eat now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just eat.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case, you'll have to excuse us whilst we eat whilst we're talking. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's just we've had a little problem with solving.
Yeah.
But
I would say you've done really well on your own.
yeah, we'll just have a advertising break for about a minute, and coming up, we'll have a little episode of a little review of our figure adventures so far.
Yep.
With series 4.
Yep.
And a bit about all the stuff for quiz or questions. So
excellent.
should we go and get the dinner?
Okay.
And I'll do the advertising break.
Okay.
Doctor Who Time and Space, program with lots of fun. Doctor Who Time and Space, the program with lots of opinions. Wait, that doesn't fit. Doctor Who Time and Space, the program with stuff that makes you laugh and cry and say, oh, that was rubbish. This poem is not a poem, really, so I don't know why I said it was a poem. Yeah, Doctor Who Time and Space, the best podcast ever, yeah. Sorry about that. It is just a little advertising break.
We'll start talking a little bit about the review. Introduce the review, and I'll be going to that.
So today, as we said last week, and we promised last week, we'll be reviewing each episode of Series 4 of the Miss Lewis Main Adventures. Series 4. So yeah, that'll be good. Each episode was The Creditane Syndrome, written by myself. Devil of Wang Chiang, written by Tom Jelk. Awakening of the Sea Devils, written by Daddy Cool. Locked Out, written by me and Joshua Woodland. And The Cyber War, written by Lewis Moon. Me again! I'm the head writer, so I get to write all the really important episodes and stuff. And Dad writes all the standalone sort of things.
Yeah. So what do we want to talk about then? First of all, then, in terms of the podcast.
So
this time's adventures.
So,
dinner.
we'll chat a little bit about what each of the stories is about. My story, which was the first story, was about the Doctor visiting St Matthew's School, and there was Krillitanes invading, and they took over the headmaster, Mr. Ivan.
what I would say is that I think this series really comes on a lot because I think we felt that the Power of the Cybermen was a big improvement, didn't we, in the last series? And then this follows on from there, really. I think the stories are stronger, the dialogue's stronger. I think the filming's a lot stronger as well.
The voices are stronger.
So, are you just going to give like a brief summary of each of the stories?
Yeah, and then we're going to review them.
Okay.
So, what did you think of the Krillotone syndrome then?
I thought it was good. I thought the music was really good as well.
Yeah, I did.
Quite edgy, wasn't it? Well worth people viewing, I would say. Who's your favourite character in it?
I'd say Mr. Ivan.
Hmm.
Who was yours?
Mr. Ivan.
Yeah, I like him. Did you like playing him? What did you feel like playing him?
It was fun because he was sort of good and then really bad.
Because he was fast.
So you had quite a good sort of switch halfway through.
Yeah. I like Mr. Ivan. He improves throughout the episode and he's
Also-
not in part too much.
Also gave us the opportunity to see the second Doctor again.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we hadn't really seen him in the Mystery Adventures.
Only really a little bit in the 50th, wasn't he?
But that was only a tiny bit.
So, moving on from that one, on to the next episode.
Devil of Winter Ends. Now, this was written by Tom Jack.
This is written by Tom Jouts. Yeah. Shall I talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, just talk a little bit about it while I've got a minute.
I mean, it's for a return back to the character that we called Ravanta, that was also known as Greel. It saw the fourth Doctor playing an important role, and actually the inclusion of different Doctors was quite a common theme throughout a lot of this series. So we saw not only Greel and Ravanta return, but also probably one of the scariest characters I think ever to have been in Doctor Who, Mr. Sin.
Yeah.
So another interesting story from the book of Mr. Jouts. What do you make of it?
3 so far. I thought it was a really good episode. I think Tom Jouts did really well on it. I think it introduced Lily Eden very well.
Of course it did, yeah.
Yeah, it was Lily Eden's first story, and what do you think of Lily Eden so far of what she's been in that?
Her voice changes quite a lot.
Harry Wright's spoiled.
Yeah, but she's a different sort of character, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's quite brave, I think.
Yeah, she is. She's quite karate-like.
Quite different than Sally, who was always a little bit scared.
Who was the last companion that ever faced the wrath of Miss Lucy, and then died.
Yeah, it's a good one. Who's your favourite character in that episode?
I'd say because it introduced Lily Eden, I'd say Lily Eden was my favourite character.
Yeah. Which takes us on to the next episode.
You can introduce that, because it's your episode.
Was that one next?
Yeah,
Okay.
Awakening.
Next up came Awakening of the Sea Devils. And what I tried to do with this one is I like the way that periodically Doctor Who stories take in a little bit of historical characters. I also like the idea that the Alcatraz, the Escape from Alcatraz story, had no real ending, and that we never knew what happened to some of the prisoners that escaped. I mean, in reality, I think the big one was that probably they probably drowned. But we introduced a different sort of concept into it, that perhaps they hadn't actually escaped at all. And what would actually happen was that the Sea Devils, who were a diminishing race, had actually used Alcatraz as a source for gaining some people that they were going to transform into mutant versions of themselves, and basically created this sort of super Sea Devil race to keep themselves moving on. So basically, Lily Eden and the Doctor, after all the excitement from the Mr. Sin Gravanta story, decide they're going to go off on a holiday. All goes hideously wrong, and they find themselves trying to solve the mystery of what's going on with the Sea Devils. I think the interesting thing as well is that obviously it's the Silurians helping out the Sea Devils, but then also the Ice Warriors see when they get hold of the whole idea that they're building this super race, they see it as a threat and attack.
It's possibly my favourite episode in the series.
You like it on best, yeah?
Pardon?
Your favourite, is it?
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
I just liked the story, really, which is the main part. At the beginning I didn't know what the Avatar story was. And then when he told me, I was like, oh, that's so clever. It was really a good idea. So it was a really good idea. So I liked it, yeah.
Also, the music in it's really cool. It's quite creepy, isn't it?
Who's your favourite character? Mine's the transformed human.
Yeah, I think I probably agree with you. It's quite creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the bit when he goes, we already have, and then knocks the Doctor out.
That's right. The other thing is it's got quite an important role for the Editor of Time.
Yeah.
The character that comes back.
He's the story arc for this series.
It's really, isn't he? And he comes back a number of times through.
We'll talk about who he is if you want to find out later.
Okay, well, moving on to the next one then.
Locked Out.
Written by?
Me and Joshua Woodland gave me the idea.
So, just talk a little bit about the competition from last time.
Well, last year we set up a competition called Write for the Listener's Moon Adventures, and you could enter a story and it might become a YouTube video. And
therefore, Joshua's dreams came true.
He's been a fan of the series. He's my friend's, my friend's brother. And yeah, it's quite good, yeah.
So what gives us a little bit of a synopsis of what happened in it?
Well, it's about when the Doctor's locked out the TARDIS, he ends up in the Cyber War, which is a battle between the Cybermen and the Daleks. And on the battle, they find out Poir is back, the Cyber Leader. Spoilers. She's back and she's trying to defeat the Daleks, but at the end, the Daleks take over the Cybermen, and that flows into the Cyber War.
That's right. So it's in many respects, it's sort of like a continuing story, isn't it?
It's a prequel. It's throughout the Mr. Moon Adventures. It's always about the Cyber War from now on.
So, the Cyber War. What do you know about the Cyber War? That is the last story.
Oh wait, we need to give our little...
Oh, sorry, we didn't give our... Well, first of all, who's your favourite character in Locked Out?
I don't know.
Probably Poir, isn't it?
Yeah, Poir. Poir, I forgot about her.
Do you think Poir will ever come back in it again?
No. I think the Cybermen are over in Mr. Moon Adventures.
Think
Been
so?
in it quite a lot. I think that I've used them enough.
Seems a shame, though, 'cause you've got some new Cybermen things.
I might use them. I mean, they're not going to be in this series, I don't think. They might be in it a tiny weeny bit.
Yeah.
But not talk at all.
Okay. So,
who's yours?
favourite
Well,
character?
Poir, yeah.
Poir, yeah.
So what were you going to say?
I was going to move on to Cyber War.
Yeah. The Cyber War. It follows on for Locked Out, and the Cyber War is still lasting, but also the Doctor's been shot at the end of Locked Out.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And nobody knows who did it, and everyone in the universe is a suspect. But But when the Hydrocorians, when everything's going fine and the murder trial is almost solved, the Hydrocorians invade, which are a new villain that have appeared. What do you think of the Hydrocorians then?
Well, they're cool, aren't they? There's sort of an element of mystery about them.
Yeah. Do you think they'll be back?
I think they probably will, yeah. I think they may be... Well, because before I talk too much about the Hydrocorians, this episode saw a regeneration, didn't it?
Yeah. Between Paul McGann, and he was shot so powerful that it turned into Peter Capaldi.
Actually skipped a couple of generations.
A shot so powerful.
Yeah. So it was sad to see the back of the Paul McGann Doctor, wasn't it? We've done quite a few bigger adventures with him, probably more than anyone else, actually, haven't we?
I think same with more Peter Capaldis
Yeah.
than any other Doctors.
I was just thinking about how funny this podcast would be if we had the video cam on it. If we had us talking and stuffing our faces at the same time. Yeah, no, I think it's a good. Cyborg was a good one. I think the effects in it.
Favourite character?
Favourite character.
Mine's the Hydrocorian Beast, probably.
Yeah, I think probably mine too.
Or a Hydrocorian Queen.
Yeah.
Sound like a Hydrocorian.
So explain a little bit to the people who don't know, a little bit about the Editor of Time.
Well, the Editor of Time was really the Hydrocorian Beast. And he was really a Hydrocorian, but got awarded to scare everyone off to avoid plans and awarded the role of Hydrocorian Beast by the Hydrocorian Queen. So yeah, it was quite a good thing. So so that leads us on to the final segment.
And first of all, I guess you need to do a little bit of a rating about it.
What do you mean, like?
What was your favourite story from this season?
I think my favourite story has to be Awakening of the Sea Devils. I thought that was the best by far. What do you think was your favourite?
I really like the cyber war. In fact, it brings everything to an exciting conclusion.
Yeah.
Oh, well, a little bit about. Did you want to give away who it is that's actually shot?
Yeah. If you haven't watched the last part of the cyber war, then don't listen now. Block your ears. The person who shot the Doctor was the War Doctor, aka John Hurt.
Will we see the War Doctor again?
Do you?
Well, it's a little bit limited with what we can do. We haven't got the proper John Hurt figure, have we? We've just got the one from the magazine.
Yeah. Also, I think we could have bought it from the Who shop, but it was like £69.
Yeah. So so unfortunately, we there's a limited amount we could do with him because you wouldn't be able to use that figure for the whole series.
What was the worst episode in the series?
I don't think there is one really.
No, I don't. I think probably the Krillitine syndrome. I'm sorry, me, but it is the worst one. I think.
No, I don't think it is.
They get better throughout the series, I'd say. Kind of.
That may just be that we got better doing it.
Yeah, the effects and the stories, kind of, but yeah, they kind of improve every episode with something. The storylines, the plots, the scripts, they just improve.
So what can we expect from the next series?
Well, there's a huge character improvement for Lily. There's a new companion which was revealed this week, but we can't give away that until Christmas. So I'm tempted to say it on this very live podcast, but I can't.
Well, what we do know is, I think on your webpage you've to sort of lead us in a little bit to the what's going on your webpage. New poster.
Yeah, it's a poster saying the Day That Magic Strikes is on 24th of the 12th, 14, Christmas Eve, and it's got a picture of like Ian McKellen, who plays Corgata, and the main villain, and Polly Wright, who plays Lily Eden, the main character, because there's no Doctor in this episode, in a poster in a snowflakey-like background.
Mm.
So
I was going to say, who's the beardie?
yeah, who is Corgata?
Mm.
Because should I say how much he's in it?
Probably not.
No, let's
Keep that a
not.
secret.
No, because yeah.
Sorry, did you say when it's on?
Yeah, it's a two-parter, so it will it will also be on the 27th. And maybe next week we might be doing a trailer. Maybe might be out. Might
Maybe,
be.
yeah.
Hmm.
Anything else to talk about from the actual Lewis Moon website?
I don't think so. No. Anything else you'd like?
I don't think so. I think that's the main news from that.
Yeah. So finally, let's roll up a bit. Oh.
Could it be?
Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. Sorry.
Well, we always have towards the end. Oh, hey.
Quiz or question? Oh, so one of the longest episodes of the podcast.
That's
I
right.
think this will be.
Probably will.
Yeah,
Probably a relatively short quiz or question.
probably about 5 minutes.
Mhm.
I think.
You
We've
better
got
explain the quiz or question again. That's cool.
new people of the show might have got interested because of this new series of Doctor Who that we helm at the moment. Quiz or question is where you send us a quiz or a question, and we have to answer it. A quiz is like probably like a proper question, like say, how many episodes of the Cybermen in?
Yeah.
That could be a
Well, I'll throw that one in the
Quiz?
bin then, because that was one of the ones we had today.
and questions. You could have something like, who really is Missy?
Okay, so it's more of an opinion.
Yeah,
A
more
debate.
more of a debate, which might last the whole show. So if it's a really big quiz or question, then we might have to have a 15 minutes more show and make it the longest podcast we've ever done.
Well, should we kick off then with the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one here, which is, has there ever been an episode of Doctor Who without the Doctor in it?
Yes.
Well, first of all, what is that? Is that a quiz or question?
Oh. A quiz or a question?
Okay, I'd say that's a quiz.
A quiz? Yes, there was. There was the Daleks Master Plan. No. The prequel to the Daleks Master Plan, which was a 25-minute episode, and it was Mission to the Unknown.
Ah.
Any other episodes?
Well, I seem to remember, and I'm not 100% sure on this, so correct me if I'm wrong. I seem to remember when we watched the Web of Fear, that there was one episode without the Doctor in it.
Yeah, there was. I think it might have been part 2.
I know we constantly thought he was going to be in it. and he
Wasn't
never
it the
was.
one when Brigadier first was in it?
Maybe.
Was it?
Can't remember. I just remember because we were constantly
Oh no,
saying to
it's
each other.
part 2.
We
Yeah.
were constantly saying to each other, "Oh, you surely be in it in a minute." I don't think it was. Was
No.
it? The other one that it doesn't. He is in it, but he's not in it very much, I guess. Is Blink,
Yeah.
which I
There
think is-
are a few which he's not in much.
Yeah. Maybe even tonight's Flatline one.
And maybe, if you count it, Family of Blood and Human Nature, because he wasn't really the Doctor in
That
that.
is
He
true.
was John Smith.
What I do think is interesting is that, as with a lot of people, possibly my favourite episode of all time, possibly, is Blink. And I just think it's an incredible one, that, because of the fact that the Doctor's hardly in it.
Hmm.
And I think that to actually have that as the best stories is interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I've got the next question.
Okay.
It's aimed for you.
Okay.
If there was no new Who, if there was no classic Doctor Who,
Yeah.
would you still be interested in new Doctor Who? So, is that a
Okay.
quiz or a question?
That's asking for my opinion, I think. So therefore, it's a question.
Question. Okay. So, what do you think?
I think very interesting idea. The interesting thing about it, I think, is, and I can take it back to the classic here.
Yeah.
I got to an age where I think I grew out of it. Probably around towards the end of Pete Davidson's start of Colin Baker's series, where I didn't really like Doctor Who anymore. But I think part of that was I never really got over Tom Baker leaving, because I liked him so much. But regardless, anyway, I towards I didn't watch any of Sylvester McCoy's, I don't think, when they came on.
No.
So I was a little
Watched
bit
Tuna.
funny about it. And when the new series started, again, I'd seen like pictures of Chris Eccleston. He didn't look to me like.
Did you
Doctor Who.
watch the first episode
No.
when it was?
No, didn't watch any of it. I just thought, I can't bother. It looks rubbish. It wasn't until you started getting into it, and
Well, because my mum suggested it. So yay, we wouldn't be doing this podcast now. It's about 4 years ago since I started liking Doctor Who. Probably 4 years ago now.
well, I never got into it at all. Because similarly, when David Tennant took over, I thought, no, he doesn't look like Doctor Who. Because I had, to me, my image of Doctor Who was Tom Baker and John Pertwee and Patrick Troughton. And all these young doctors, they just weren't it to me. So I wasn't really that interested in it. And then you came round one day and you've been talking about it. We've been watching a bit of Sarah Jane Adventures and I've enjoyed that. And you showed me Midnight. And I think Midnight was the first one of the new series that we both watched together. I think I'm right in saying that. And I really, really enjoyed it. And then from then on, we then sort of started watching. I think
We
just
started
after that,
Rose, didn't we?
we did. We downloaded on iTunes the whole of the first series.
And then because we liked it so much, because I'd already got series 2, we downloaded the whole of series 3.
Yeah.
Then did we download the whole of series 4?
Yeah, I think there's some we still haven't watched together. Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, you've obviously watched them all
Yeah.
because you've watched all of New Who.
There's a few I'm a bit scared of. The Astronauta one, I hate that Miss Evangelista thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So to answer your question, it wasn't anything to do with classic Who that made me get into New Who. It was you.
Yeah.
So
if I didn't like Doctor Who now, you wouldn't really like it.
I wouldn't. And then we'd be missing out on this cracking series that we've got now.
Yeah. We've been missing out on this cracking podcast that we're doing now.
Yeah. I've got another one here for you.
Yeah.
It says, if time... sorry, let me just reread it. So, if it turned out that the War Doctor wasn't just a single episode, but in fact there was a hidden secret series of the War Doctor, do you think a whole series set during the Time War would have worked for a whole series run?
Okay, is that a quiz or a question?
I think it's asking for your opinion.
Okay. Question. Okay. Question. Shut up. Question. Okay. Question. Okay. Shut up. Okay. So, what do you think?
I think it would be really different.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been like the normal
No.
episodes of DW, but
I think the way I'd like to see it is a spin-off.
yeah,
Like the one they do with Torchwood.
yeah.
Perhaps called The War Doctor as a series.
Or the Time War or
Some
something.
Time War, something like that, yeah. And actually done it. In fact, looking at your example, the Time War, you wouldn't necessarily have to focus in on the Doctor as being the main character even.
No.
It could be everything that's going on, he's one of the characters.
Could be the Rassilon or something, or the president at the time at Gallifrey.
Yeah.
That could be the main character. Maybe Davros. It could be from Davros's point of view or something.
Yeah, really
Or I was fighting the Doctors and fighting Gallifrey today. It was hard. And you feel sorry for Davros.
Nah, you never feel so good.
No, yeah, you never.
I do. I mean, I love John Hurt. Though. He's one of my favourite actors of all time. So I would love to see more of John Hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was really good as
Yeah.
the Doctor. One
Yeah.
more question now.
Okay.
This could possibly be the longest. No, it isn't, because of the Audacity episodes. We had an hour and a half episode.
We did, didn't we? That's fine. Okay, this one says, let's see. Can you imagine that there will ever be a new series of Doctor Who without either the Daleks or the Cybermen?
No, I don't think. I want there to be, strangely. Most people don't, but I want there to be. But I think there won't be. I think every
Yeah.
series will have them.
Yeah.
Well, does it count if it's got just one of them in?
No, this is saying neither of them.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see it happening either.
So if it has just one of them, does it count?
No.
Oh.
Saying it's the question. If I'm reading the question right, it's saying neither of them. So saying there's usually generally either the Daleks or the Cybermen, and everyone gets really excited when those two.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they could get away without having either of them? And I think probably the basis of the question is the fact that can they do too much else with those characters?
Yeah.
You know, have they done those characters to death in many respects? I mean,
think
we've
they
already
have.
said, haven't we, that if you look at this series, the Dalek one was a really good reinvention of the Dalek story, but it's still one of the weaker episodes in the series.
Yeah. I wasn't. First of all, I was thinking I wasn't that pleased with the episode while watching it and when it finished. But as I was thinking about it, it got better and better. Sometimes as you think about them, like Time Heist is another example. I thought Mummy on the Orient Express was gonna be one of them, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones which you have to think about it more to see if it's better.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've got another question for you here.
Yeah.
Well, so to answer that one, first of all, I personally think there will always be one because I think the public will demand there's always a Dalek or Cyberman. They need to have something which makes people want to watch it.
Yeah.
But I think it will be. I'm not convinced that either the Daleks or the Cybermen will present the best story
No.
in the series again.
Well, they
Maybe.
might because
Maybe.
of Death in Heaven.
That is true.
But I don't know if the final this time will be the best one in the series.
Do you know, I would rather in many respects the Cybermen weren't in it.
Yeah. Would you just like Missy?
Yeah, and a new villain or something.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'd love to see a little bit more about the Whispermen.
I'd like to see the Whispermen back.
They look really good, didn't they?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I did have another question, but I can't find it now.
Okay.
I don't know what I've done with it. Have you got any more in your poll?
I had one a minute ago. I had Jamie Matheson wrote Mummy on the Orient Express and is writing Flatlined. Do you think he'll ever do another episode beyond Series 8? And what would you what classic villain would you like him to bring back?
I wouldn't want to.
Oh wait,
question.
question.
That's a question again. I
We
wouldn't
had
want him
this one last week, but with Peter Harness
Yeah.
instead.
I'd like to see him do another really original one.
Yeah, I would.
I'm intrigued to see this episode tonight with the baddie that you can't see, assuming it is a baddie you can't see.
I like them.
Yeah. And I would most definitely like to see him more than But you know, it might be we watched tonight and it's rubbish, and therefore we think, oh, Mummy on the Orient Express was a one-off. But I think it's going to be a really good one.
Yeah.
I think Peter Capaldi said some comment about it being really strong. I think the very fact that after he'd written this episode, Stephen Moffat went back to him and asked him to write another one. I think that would also make you think this could be a really good one. This could be one of the best ones in the series.
Yeah.
So,
The clips look pleasing,
Yeah.
and the trailers look pleasing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. Very
Yeah.
much so.
So, is that it then?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for watching. Flatline is on tonight in just over 2 hours at 8:25.
For anyone that's interested, dinner was really tasty.
Yes,
But
that's a dinner podcast.
I do apologise about us eating mid podcast. We'll try not to do it again, but hopefully we won't have technical problems next time.
Yes. So next time
what
we'll
we have
be
next week?
reviewing Flatline.
We will. We'll be talking a little bit about the next episode, which will be
In the Forest of the Night.
in the Forest of the Night.
We'll
A bit more news.
Yeah, we'll be looking at a quiz or question.
Yeah, indeed. And we'll talk a little bit about what's been going on the Mr. Lewis Moon side.
Maybe a best of as well. But
Maybe.
we'll talk about that next week. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.